And being a kid, I loved the attention that came with it. People would say, "Oh, Will, nice speech," and I'd be like, "Oh, thank you." Like, okay. But I'm a person who would get very nervous when I was about to speak to a group. So the first time I really spoke publicly was at my grandfather's retirement party. So there was so many people there, and so how it came about was my mother was writing a speech, and she was asking my dad for advice, and then she's like kind of didn't listen to my advice, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to write my own speech. So I did, and I was pretty good, I think, but I was there and I was waiting the entire time to do it. I was sitting in a chair like shaking. I was like, oh God, and like heart was pounding like that. So, and sometimes I would get really quiet because I used to talk so fast without taking a breath. It'd almost be like I was rapping. So Toastmasters has definitely helped me with that. I feel much more comfortable speaking to a group now. It's more of a love relationship. I try to take advantage of every opportunity that I can now to speak publicly, not only to improve my skills, but because I now enjoy it. But what I say Toastmasters helped me with the most was my networking skills. I used to be the type of guy that you would have to introduce me to you for me to go up and speak with you. But after I started Toastmasters, I noticed a change in my behavior. I would introduce myself to people and just get to know people. For example, at the 43 North competition that they had in Buffalo this past fall, we went as a school, and I stayed after, and I wanted to meet all of the CEOs and founders, and I did. So I stayed after. I shook some of their hands, got to know them a bit. And actually the CEO of ShearShare, it's a company that just got there, I stayed in touch with the founder, and she ended up offering me an internship. So that's kind of how Toastmasters was able to help me to be able, because before that, I would definitely have not gone up to these people and gotten to know them. But it helped me with my skills, so that way I was able to get to know people and really be able to just stay in touch with them. Another example is I went to the DECA Nationals trip to Atlanta this past April, and there's people from everywhere, thousands and thousands of kids from all around the country. And Daniel back there can attest to that. He knows too. And what we were able to do is meet so many people because Toastmasters had helped us get to be able to just meet people, and like, how to introduce yourself, how to continue on a conversation, and you're not so nervous as you have previously been. Toastmasters also helped me discover things about myself that I had not previously known. Before I really started Toastmasters, I just tried to fit in. But throughout the year, I started to come into my own, per se. I realized that I'm a little different than everybody else, but that's okay. My humor was always the humor of others. But Toastmasters helped me realize that I'm actually sometimes kind of funny. People would laugh, maybe sometimes with me, maybe sometimes at me, but Toastmasters helped me develop my own personal identity. Fast forward to future me. I have great things planned for the future. Extremely difficult and ambitious goals. I want to be in real estate when I'm older, real estate development firm. It wasn't my intention to use the word of the day there, but I did. I want to be a philanthropist, politician, maybe even someday president of the United States. We'll see how it goes. You never know. My goal is just to achieve the highest possible level that I can achieve. If I had no public speaking skills, I wouldn't be successful in anything. Maybe it's a few things, but not what I want to achieve. So technically, without Toastmasters, my whole life would end up being a failure. That's enough about me, though. This is called Toastmasters. Now I would like to give a toast. I would like to thank the Lockport chapter of Toastmasters for letting us be here today and letting us showcase and practice our skills that we have developed over the course of this year. I would also like to thank Mrs. Badgerbach, our youth leadership coordinator, for helping us out so much throughout the year and giving us super valuable feedback and tips throughout the year. Mrs. DiTullio, thank you for organizing this incredible opportunity. This experience was more helpful to us than most of our classes, because speaking and interacting with people is way more important than pre-calculus. It's something we'll have to do forever. Pre-calculus, you might use once, maybe. It was a really fun year with all of you, and I'm disappointed that it's coming to an end. To use the Toastmasters jargon, this speech has been adjourned.
Our third speaker today is Jason Zhang. Jason Zhang is a junior at Lockport High School who wears many hats in his life. With being involved in technical lighting for the school plays and musicals, he is a secretary of National Honor Society and a captain at Becker Farms. He is a young, dedicated person who strives to do his best all the time. Evaluating our final speaker is Keely Donovan. Keely, will you please tell us the speaker's objectives and the title of his speech?
Hi everyone, I'm evaluating Jason Zhang today with his speech, The Rebuild of Zhang. His objectives are to make time, engage with the audience, and practice his newly acquired speaking and chairmanship skills.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, please help me welcome up to the lectern Jason Zhang with his speech title, The Rebuild of Zhang.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Tim.
Ring, ring, ring. Jason, can you get the phone? Yeah, just give me like 1 second. On the phone is Dawn Wilkie, the Lockport High School principal, with an important message. Due to the uproar of the coronavirus, the Lockport City School District will take a 2-week hiatus from in-person learning. While during this time, students should stay up to date with Google Classroom, as teachers will be assigning daily work for you to complete. Thank you, and I hope to see you all soon. Little did she know, we would not see each other soon. In my mind, I'm thinking, sweet, no school for 2 weeks? This is gonna be awesome. Now, I view that day as a tipping point in my life before the iceberg capsized. To fully understand what I mean by that, I'm gonna take you on a little blast from the past of my life, starting back to my freshman year. So some background information here. Before I attended Lockport High School, I attended St. John's, which is a private school in North Tonawanda. And I had 2 other friends of mine who were coming to Lockport with me. So I was a little short in the friend department, but there's nothing I could do about that. But so the first day rolls around and I'm pretty nervous. I'm only thinking about, I got to get to first period, and my mission is just to fly under the radar. I don't want anyone to notice me. So and my first period class is living environment with Mr. Bernardi. So I walked into his class and I walk in the door and I'm just like a deer staring at headlights. I'm just lost and I'm like, what in the world am I supposed to be doing? So I immediately just sit down in the first seat closest to the door, so that way I don't have to see as many people. But you cannot do that because, well, there are assigned seats. So although I didn't realize that, one of the kids that said, kind of condescending to me, you know, you're not supposed to sit there, right? And then I was like, oh, well, thank you. I will remember that. And then, and then I said, so I start walking around like 4 times. And at this point, I'm now convinced I'm in the wrong classroom. I cannot find this desk. And all of a sudden, Mr. Bernardi just pops out of the back and says, oh, you must be Jason. So funny thing here is, you're the 25th kid in my 24-person class. He chuckles while I'm standing in the middle and I just want to sit down. And then he says, let me see what I can do. And then he proceeds to grab a chair from the side of the classroom and pulls this random table out of the back and sits me there. So now I got half the class staring at me while I'm sitting in the back of the room, sideways on a chair. So the whole goal to fly under the radar was completely out of the door, as now I've got like 24 eyes just staring at me. So although slowly I became, after that time, you know, the confidence I had, it was really shot. I thought, oh man, this is going to be horrible. But slowly I became more confident in myself. As the more I talked to people, I cracked some more jokes. And believe it or not, some people didn't laugh, which I thought was strange because I thought they were pretty funny. But my jokes, they're never planned, you know. They just kind of start from hearing situations play out. And I spoke the first thing that came out of my mouth, which most of the time isn't good to do. but I did it. And I used my sense of humor as an outlet to build up my confidence. And it worked pretty well. Life was going pretty good. I was finally finding my way through the massive sea of fish at LHS until that phone call. Fast forward back to that phone call. School was shut down, and in my mind, I view this as a 2-week break. I can relax at home all day. Well, oh boy, was I so wrong. After that phone call, nothing was the same. I'm trapped at home in the rest of the year and then back to school for half the week. That really killed me, as I came out of my shell so much the previous year. This was a massive shock for the exuberant person I once was, and then replace it with just this chill guy who talked to people when need be. When I was at home though, I was driving myself insane by staring at this Chromebook and feeling like I'm gonna go insane. On the plus side though, food at any time of the day, it's always a benefit. But for most of the part, my confidence I had was gone, and that replaced with the mindset of I don't really want to talk to you if I don't know who you are. And of course, that wasn't healthy. And eventually, things started to get better, which leads me to the present, my junior year. So I start the year off with my head on a swivel, not knowing what to expect, being back at school every day. And I go about my day just walking around from class to class, saying hi to people I know and talking with my friends, until I walk into second period DECA class, which at the time I had no clue exactly what this class was. The only reason I took this class is I didn't want to tell Mrs. DiTullio no when she asked me to take it. So we're going over what is going to happen in this class. And all I remember is we're talking about this thing called Toastmasters, where it sounded to me like we're going to eat different kinds of bread, but I was completely wrong with that. And I also might have been a little hungry that morning. So, but eventually I'm meeting with Mrs. Badgerbach on a Google Meet and, having a conversation, and she's learning who I am. And the more and more that she talked, the more and more I started to get more drawn in. As this organization is where you can develop yourself and have a virtual part of the organization, a vital part of this organization to make yourself a better person. I thought that this would be so cool. And eventually we run through meetings, and it turns out I had a lot to say. I started talking more, and my conversations, they weren't just about Toastmasters. They switched over to my everyday class life, which allowed for all of my classmates to understand me pretty well this year. Like, for most of them know like one of my favorite foods are, which, just happens to be like maybe fish or crab or seafood. I might have mentioned it like twice or something, but most of the time I've provided some laughter to kickstart their day. Like this one time, for example, where I'm a captain at Becker Farms, and basically it was really late at night. So I'm packing up an event here, and after the wedding's over, and I go to take these chairs to the shed, and it's really dark and everything. And then there's someone who's hiding behind the door of the shed trying to scare me. In my mind, I thought it was my friend. So when the person pops out and scares the living daylights out of him, I just boom, right in the chest. Turns out was not my friend. It was another coworker who was a girl and 24 years old. I have never apologized more times in my life before while I'm running to grab an ice pack. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to be doing? And I kept saying sorry, and I never heard the end of that story. But, so be careful where you look. The reactions and jokes that I make, they're all because of Toastmasters. Toastmasters has helped me come out of my shell and escape my isolation tendencies that I once had built. It has helped me become the person that I am today. And Toastmasters has polished me and sharpened me back up to my good old self that everyone enjoys. And an organization like this is truly a blessing, as it allows for much growth in areas of much need. And I'm proud to have been a Toastmaster this year, because without it, who knows what could have happened to me. Thank you all so much for this opportunity, and have a good rest of your day. Mr. and Ms. Toastmaster.
I am aware that Toastmasters are not allowed to compliment speakers, but I'll just say one word. Whoa. No, I was not expecting that. Anyways, Miss Timer, how did our speakers do today?
Thank you, Mr. and Miss Toastmaster. Our speakers did very well today. Marty, you came in at 7:14, which is in the buffer. William, 6:02, perfect right in the middle there, and Jason 7:15. So all three speakers qualified. Good job.
All right, everyone. Knowing who is qualified, you may now please make your vote on the best speaker of today on your ballots that look like this. As we all make our votes and wait to be collected, I would like to share my quick experience with Toastmasters. Now, everyone before me has sort of concluded what Toastmasters can achieve for everyone very well. And I sort of now just follow up with that of just complimenting how good it is. But I'll just say I think it was on May 11th, for one of the scholarships I won for a Keenan Arts Program scholarship, and I was invited to a luncheon at the Lockport Country Club. I would have thought there would be a few other kids with me who won the scholarship, maybe for different, regions of, the Keenan Center, but apparently I was the only kid there, let alone one out of three other males. So there was a lot of women, which is fine, but which is always good. They already had marital status, or we're done with that. But getting to the point, I was invited up to the lectern to just give a quick thank you for the scholarship I won. And my parents were not expecting me to really just have a quick summary of just a speech of just thanking everyone. They would have just expected me to stay quiet or just had a blatant thank you and whatever. But I apparently must have also have given a lot of one-liners at the time, because everyone seemed to be chuckling quite a bit. But the thing with me, notoriously, I'm not aware of when I'm being funny. So I just kind of went along with it, which sort of enhances the funniness, because it kind of sounds like one-liners, but really I'm just talking normal. But either way, I really enjoyed Toastmasters because it definitely is a good way to give people laughs. Everyone loves to see people smile and just laugh. It's a good thing. It's a good human connection. So anyway, now that is all said and done. Now that is all said and done.
Fellow Toastmasters, please help us welcome up our first evaluator, Nancy Ferry.
What a pleasure it is to evaluate someone with so much experience, wealth of knowledge, and still has his challenges that he asks us to look for. So it's a pleasure to evaluate Marty. Within his talk about his experience in being an Area 11 director. Marty is an exemplary public speaker who clearly delivers his speech from his experience, but also from his heart. I loved his opening using the shining stars, and that affirmed the whole audience, engaged us because we like to be known that we're shining stars. What a great way to start. I liked his passion, his own experience, his dedication, and his enthusiasm led his speech. Challenged the audience. And ended very strongly by encouraging and challenging the AM Lockport Club members as well as the DECA members to continue on using their strengths and their experiences that they've learned here on all levels. And Marty did ask me to look for a few things. Repeated words was one of them. And you used the word start. start several times. I would encourage you to perhaps, if there are some of those words that you might get stuck on. We used to have these things called thesauruses. I don't know, DECA members probably never heard of them. But sometimes it's helpful before a speech to look up that word on your computer or in a thesaurus, those pages that you turn, and perhaps find some words that you have in your mind that you could use in that way. I would have also liked to hear your ending, continue the theme of the shining star. Call us all shining stars again, or somehow continue to shine your bright star, something like that. Your enthusiasm, your commitment to Toastmasters and to the audience is always amazing. You have great eye contact. Thank you for using the headset. It was wonderful because it allowed you to move a little bit. In summary, I would say that Marty is an exemplary speaker in sharing aspects of his personal experience leading in Toastmasters. Use the thesaurus. And it really worked, Marty, because you delivered a compelling speech with passion, experience, in your heart, and leading of your experience in leading the Area 11 Toastmasters.
Fellow Toastmasters, please help us welcome up to the lectern our second evaluator, Kara Kuzma.
Okay, so I just wanted to start off with, I like how you greeted everybody by saying good morning with a bright smile, and you used very good humor. I like how you kept out engaged, made everybody laugh. You maintained eye contact very well. You did look down a few times, but it was only for like a glance, not like reading off of something. You used the word of the day, which you said was a mistake, but worked out pretty well. You did make time with 6 minutes and 2 seconds, so good job on that. You used some ahs and ums, but that's all right. I'm sure we all do. Your body language was really good. You had really good posture, and you kept the audience engaged. You used very nice hand gestures and to make sure like how to make sure the audience knew what you're talking about. You made a toast. I like how you thanked everybody for helping you along your career and with your public speaking. I like how you used examples of how you had to speak in front of a bunch of people, like at your grandpa's retirement party or at DECA States. I think you're a very good speaker, and you used your skills very well. And I think that Toastmasters has helped you and will continue to help you a lot in the future. All right, thank you.
Fellow Toastmasters, please help us welcome up to the lectern our third and final evaluator, Keely Donovan.
All right. So I walk into second period every day just to see Jason Zhang. He has the best jokes ever. And Jason, your opener was great. I love the phone ringing. That was awesome. And you talked about COVID a little, which I feel like we can all relate to that. That was a really hard time in everyone's life. And your first day of school story, I loved it. I did not know that you were the 25th kid in the 24 desk class. That is funny. You kept everyone laughing the whole time, I think, which is awesome. I love it when people do speeches and they share their personal stories. And you had a lot of personal stories packed in there, especially my favorite one from Becker Farms. One thing that I noticed that you did do a lot was you looked down at your notes a lot. So I'm encouraging you to make more eye contact when you're speaking. Overall, you are a great speaker. I love your enthusiasm. You have so much enthusiasm when you speak. One thing that I want to talk about, which I feel like when I joined DECA, I felt the same way. I was like, yeah, we're just gonna eat some bread, you know? That was not it. I hate speaking in front of people. I know that when I started speaking at first, I would like not exhale, I guess, and I would just keep breathing in, and that was not good. But now I'm here and I'm breathing, so I'm okay. But I would get really scared. I remember when we went to regionals for DECA, I didn't breathe. I did not breathe, so I don't know how I made it past regionals and went to states because I was not breathing and I was shaking a lot. But it amazes me how comfortable you are up here, Jason, because right now I'm shaking. Like, this is scary to me still. But I feel that everyone in our DECA class has really improved a lot on speaking. So thank you.
Ms. Timer, can you please report on our evaluators today?
Well, maybe we didn't do so well with the evaluation. Nancy Ferry's time was 3:33. Even with a buffer, it's 3 seconds over the buffer. Kira's time was 1:29. 1:29, 1 second under. Just a few more pauses maybe would be helping the development there. Keely, 2:06. Perfect, perfect. So we have one qualifying. Sorry.
Well, I guess it'll be a quick vote then, but still right on your ballot too. Was the best evaluation. And while we wait for the ballots to be collected, we want to thank Mrs. Badgerbach for her continued patience and support with all of us and our group every year. And here's a gift on behalf of LHS DECA. Really, the things that Mrs. Badgerbach and Mrs. Attilio have had to listen to. There's so many weird stories, but it makes every Tuesday very eventful. So we can't thank you enough. Are they all collected? Okay. Can I go first?
Mr. Quizmaster, what are your questions for us today?
Thank you. I hope you were all paying attention today. How long has Kate Orr been a member of Toastmasters? 15. Now, during Marty's speech, he used an acronym, STAR. What exactly does STAR stand for? Oh, you're looking at my notes? I think so. Now, William Landowski, what does he want to get into after he graduates? What field?
Real estate development.
All of that, yeah, okay. Jason Zhang, what is his favorite food? Fish. And it was already been revealed during last report. What did he discover to his horror on his first day of class?
5 out of 20.
Right. Thank you. That's the test. I think you're all set.
Mr. Wordmaster, how did our word of the day do?
The word of the day was used once by Will Lewandowski. Thank you.
It is Miss. Yes, okay. Miss Allmaster, how did we do with our filler words today?
All right, everyone had less than 5 filler words except Jason, Carol, Kira, and Keely. So pretty good. Ms. Jester Master, how did everyone do today?
Thank you. Wow, I'm going to say for the first time, I need to report on technology and gestures with a group of guests. I'm going to say wow to all of you. You really kept it together. And Len, you used no facial expression that you were even losing your cool. So I think I'm just going to be very informal and say, I think there must be something in the clouds. Because sitting next to Sylvia, who's been a member way longer than me, said, I've never experienced any of these problems before. So thank you everybody for your patience with that. And y'all, AM Toastmasters, as well as the students, you just really didn't show any, I'd say, part of losing your cool that you were interrupted or anything. So kudos to that. I really appreciate that. You're so developed. Me, I'm still learning. So you guys did a great job, really. I'm really impressed for high school students. I couldn't do it then. And I just want to say your gestures were wonderful back here. I don't know all your names, but you kept it together without the sound issues. You used the podium correctly, excuse me. And, you know, I would just say one thing just to push your development. When you are standing behind here, you're still on camera. You're still supporting the speaker. So just pay attention, I guess, all the time with your facial expressions, your posture, because that is worth a million words to support your speaker. But other than that, only a few things, or just step away. But that's just for your development. You're awesome. I'd say Kate, Marty, Tom, Jason, and Will, you all used the podium correctly. Your gestures were appropriate. Your body language reflected your tone and your attitude from your speech. Great job. Katie, Marty, and Tom, you walked outside the podium, showing how mastered you all are with handheld and not, you know, really using the podium to support you, although it is to be respected. I do know that. I would just have one advice for Jason and Will, that your speeches were so good. Go push yourself outside the limits and get out there. Get in front of the podium and use, you know, don't use the handheld mic. Other than that, I think you all did a great job. And thank you again, Len, for keeping your cool.
I just want to be sure. Miss. Okay, just making sure. Miss Grammarian, how did we do with the English language today?
I was not the right person to do this job.
I should say, I am not the right person. I'll be very strong. I wish Margot was here because she could pick out things, hear things that I don't hear. One of my faults is dropping the G at the end of words, and I did not hear anyone do that today. I was trying to focus on my mistakes on other people, and I guess it's me. Maybe it's from Niagara Falls, I'm not sure. But we had a few start overs at the beginning. People were talking, they were start their sentences over and over again. Thomas, I picked up, you said a few times, got. My father would cringe. You could have used other words, maybe should have or had to, something in that way. Carol Ann, real nervous, could have used something as, not as nervous. Marty had a couple start overs. I did hear that. You did use which are, could have said which is. Used the same word over and over as someone else noticed, your evaluator. Jason, I like the phrase you use, massive sea of fish. I thought that was pretty good. Other than that, I have not heard any terrible grammar. Your English teachers would be very proud of you today. Thank you.
Mr. General Evaluator, would you like to give your evaluation?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well on this phenomenal Thursday morning. You know, I started off a little slow this morning. I could not find my belt. I looked around like my house for 20 minutes. Mine was everywhere, but it turns out my belt was already on me. I wasted 20 minutes. I ended up leaving my house a little late. And then on the way here, I told my mom we were going to the YMCA instead of YWCA. So I got to the YMCA and had to turn it back around to get here. So the morning was a little slow. Not a morning guy usually. The meeting started off around 7:01, which I believe we started at 7, so we were a minute late, but I'll give it to us as close enough on time. The Toastmasters introduced everyone very well. It was very smooth, and no one really messed up their introductions as their roles. Table topics was very informative. I really enjoyed the questions you guys asked. Great job, Kyle and Mia. I really enjoyed it. Now for the evaluators. Nancy, you were very loud and spoken. I believe she left, but I hope she sees this on the recording. I liked how you used the shining star moment of Marty's speech. That stuck with me a lot, Marty, on that speech. Even though I'm not supposed to talk about speakers, I really enjoyed that part of your speech. The feedback of Marty's speech was necessity about how he used repeating words. Every speech, in my opinion, could have something better about it, and I really enjoyed how you found something so little in Marty's great speech for him to help him with in the future. You could add a more thought out evaluation so you didn't like go over time. Maybe like compact your notes a little more so you can be more effective in giving the evaluation and not just going in too far of depth. Now for Kira. You touched on Will's goals of his speech in the beginning, which is very nice. I enjoyed that. You related back to his speech well, which showed you were very invested and interested in what he had to say. You could have gone in more depth on like what could have like improved his speech to help him out in the future to make time. But that was about it. Great job. Now for Keely. I really enjoyed how you were very happy, bright, light, you know, just in the moment, just living life. You were very nice on giving tips to improve, and I enjoyed your personal story about how DECA helped you to become where you are today. Great job making time. Overall, this meeting went very well. This experience truly changed my life, and I would like to say thank you to everyone in this room.
All right, so for table topics, best table topicer was Thomas Heldwine. So congrats. Best evaluator was Keely Donovan. The best speaker was William Lewandowski. So just something really quick before we adjourn the meeting today. LHS DECA is doing a Cans for Cancer drive, and there's flyers up on the table. It's in memory of Mr. Moran. So if you'd like to participate, please do. Does anyone else have any announcements they'd like to say? Yes, go for it.
Thank you so much. First, I wanted to thank DACA for being here this morning. It was great to see a different group of people take the load today, fill some roles, do some speaking, and give us kind of a day off. It was nice. First, I would like to ask for any observations from our guests, if they would like to give any, for volunteering to give any. No? Excellent. All right. My observations. Functionaries. I'd like to start introducing our functionaries. That was very interesting, and I thought, I've never heard that before. Maybe that's something I would like to start using if I'm up here and I'm going to be Toastmaster and I'm going to introduce my functionaries. Having a co-Toastmaster and table topics master. One thing we do here in this club, we just throw the person for the first time into being Toastmaster or maybe even table topics. Maybe we should have a maybe they should have their sponsor there with them. And if they're doing fine, great. If not, just nudge them out of the way and come in and take over for them. I heard that the word of the day was development. Well, one thing that I think as far as development could be improved is don't give excuses. If people go over time, if people do something that you think that could be improved, we talked about holding people to a standard in the STAR speech about developing their skills. Don't criticize them and make them feel bad about it, but don't give them a free pass either, all right? And then in Spaceballs, there's light speed, ludicrous speed, and now I've seen Zhang speed. BuffaloStandup.com or the Facebook Buffalo Standup, you could easily just give that 2-minute talk about being the 25th out of 24 and enjoy that, and that may actually help your public speaking as well. There's only 2 venues you're allowed to get into under 21, so you'll have to wait a while before you can do one all the time. We talked about the winners already. Normally we have the winner of the speech draw for the 50-50. So that would be William. William, can you come up here just for a moment to draw? Yeah, the win number is 363. Check those 4 tickets right there. Oh, wait, Katie Orr won. Yeah, way to go, Katie. Yes. Oh, there we go. That would be, holy moly. Did the treasurer take her half already? Oh my goodness. All right, you owe me breakfast. All right. We would like to be able to give out the ribbons. We were able to find those. Sorry, William, you gotta come up again. I always enjoyed and kept ribbons, and I have this wonderful collection at home, and I'm sure that someday when I pass on, she's taking a picture of you. Someone out there. Oh, there too? Okay. Yeah, thank you. Wait, did I give you the right one? Yes. Okay, because this one looks a lot cooler. It also says best speaker. Oh, that was table topics, right? Okay, okay, it's for best speaker, sorry. Then, yeah, I'm good there.
We need more practice.
No, we're doing all right. The best evaluator was Keely. Keely. Thank you. Thomas for best table topics. I want to say go Lions. Oh, wow, that was met with medium. Okay, I won't forget you. I will just quickly do the last piece. I have for administrative, next week's Toastmaster is Jen Zappa. And I texted her and I said, what's the theme for next week? She said, oh, I'm Toastmaster? And I said, yes, no pressure. And she said, time travel. So our topic for next week is time travel. And I think that's going to be an interesting one. If not, we could always just go back and do it again. All right. Thank you. That's everything for me. If you did not win, remember there's a thing there's a container, not a thing. And by the door, you put your last name on your back of your ticket, place it in there, and you can win free 6 months membership here in Toastmasters. I would like to now call forward to the lectern. There's a lot of things up here. I'm not sure if any of this is yours.
That's okay. I'll just muscle my way in. Hi, everyone. I would like to add my thank you to AM Lockport Toastmasters for all of the support that the members have given over these many years. I met Jill in 2012, and I think that we started the Toastmasters Club in 2014. And all of the AM Lockport Toastmasters members came and helped us and have helped us every single year to launch a club. I would also like to thank Jill DiTilio, because one thing that we learned together is that you can't just bring a Toastmasters club into a high school and have it just automatically be successful. It takes structure. It takes devious ways to get students to invest in something like this. And that's what Mrs. DiTilio did. She created a structure around the Toastmasters program and made it actually a part of the DECA curriculum. And by doing that, the students were measured and held to account. And Mrs. DiTilio is a ferocious lioness of a teacher. And so out of fear and out of a desire for her esteem, all of the things that she did to motivate students year after year, created a very strong program at Lockport High School that does make a difference in people's futures, but it would not have happened without you. That is for sure. You are the core. And I would like you to come and help me hand out these wonderful award or their certificates for our amazing, incredible, newly minted Toastmasters. And you can
you can pass them out. Yeah, you can read names, I'll shake. And then everyone is gonna go in this direction, I think. Kate, is that right? Yes. And I'm gonna see your certificate, please stand in line over here. Thank you.
All right, congratulations, everyone. You did a wonderful job this morning. Thank you again to AM Lockport for inviting us and welcoming us each year. So to start us off, Taylor Allen. Emma Burns. Kyle Colville. We have some seniors I'd like to mention as well. So Emma is graduating and Kyle is graduating in a few weeks. Avery Connor. Keely Donovan. Daniel Fiegel. Max Forsyth, who is also graduating in a few weeks. Mia Gwaley. Grant Hare. Kira Kuzma, who is also a senior. William Lewandowski. Marissa Stevens. And last but certainly not least, Jason Zhang. Welcome, a wonderful picture, maybe after with all of the members and students, if possible, for our social media at the school as well.
Come up, we'll do a quick receiving line and just shake hands with everybody, and then we will take a group photo. That would be wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody. Wonderful. I have some messages too that didn't come up. Make sure you get those before you get to school. Are you in a rush or not really?
And there's plenty of bagels